Hi everyone, CFL Park Hopper here back at Epic Universe for another epic day. And today we're going to talk about how best to plan your trip around the park. If you have early park admission versus no early park admission versus what portal should I go to first. Lots to factor in here at Epic Universe. So we're going to talk about all the ideas and all the ways you can plan your day. Let's go. All right everyone, so Nintendo World, check it out. It's so cool here. Is going to be the most popular park first thing in the morning. This part of the park opens for early park admission with hotel guests. And they have 3 rides in this area. They have the Mario Kart, which is over there in Bowser's Castle. They have Yoshi's Adventure. There's a little Yoshi's going around now. And down this way into this tunnel is Donkey Kong Country, where they have the Donkey Kong Minecart roller coaster. So all 3 of these rides open for early park admission for hotel guests. And hotel guests will be flocking to this area first thing in the morning, and they can get in early park admission 1 hour before the park opens. So if the park opens at 10 to regular guests, they can get in starting at 9, and believe you me, they will be lined up probably as early as 8 to get into this area. So I am in here and it's a little bit after 10 now when the regular guests could get in, and Mario Kart is 120 minutes. The Donkey Kong Minecart ride's 120 minutes. And Yoshi's Adventure is the lowest wait at 55 minutes. And there are rides currently in the park that are a lot less than 55 minutes. So unless you're going to be here for early park admission, and even with early park admission, I would not do Nintendo Land first thing in the morning. Unless you are just a diehard Nintendo fan, and I mean, who can resist this? This is so cool. And you're going to have a power-up band, and you're going to play games and punch blocks and things like that, and spend time in this area. And maybe do some meet and greets. We just saw Mario and Luigi here a second ago. I'm hoping to meet Toad today. And they have a Donkey Kong meet and greet and a Princess Peach meet and greet. So unless you really want to spend time in this area and really immerse yourself, I would not come here first thing in the morning. I would push this till later in the day. I've come here in the evening, and at that point, Yoshi was like walk on almost. Mario Kart was only like, I got lucky one time and it was like a 25-minute wait. I've gotten lucky with Donkey Kong at the end of the night being walk on. So I would wait on this part of the park unless this is your like must-do favorite thing. So let's talk about what other options you could do here at Epic Universe first thing in the morning. Okay, so if you're not really interested in the mayhem of Nintendo World early in the morning, but you are staying on property and would like to access early park admission, Darkmoor, where the monsters live, which is where we're headed now, is now open in the morning, so you can ride Monsters Unchained or Curse of the Werewolf. I believe the carousel right here is also now open for early park admission, as well as the Stardust coaster, which is on the other side of the carousel. You can kind of see the track as I keep walking. There it is over there. That is open for early park admission. And I must say that I think if you were a hotel guest and you were here right when early park admission opened, you know, you were here maybe 30 minutes prior to early park admission and ready to go and just bypass Nintendo World, I have a feeling you could probably do the Stardust coaster and all of Darkmoor. And if you wanted this carousel before the park opened to the public. So I think you could get more done going this route than trying to do Nintendo World in the morning. So I think if I was staying at a resort, this is the route I would choose. It's a little less crazy. And like I said, I think the lines in Nintendo Land seem to go down later in the day. So let's head into Darkmoor. All right, now here's the Helios Hotel, and the entrance to Darkmoor, Monsters Universe, is right here by the Helios. So bonus if you're staying at the Helios Hotel for that early park admission, it's a real short walk to get here first thing in the morning. Here we go through the portal. Oh boy. The Frankenstein Catacombs. This is such a spooky area. Now I must say, you do want to come back here and check this place out at night. The lights that light up in this area at night give this place a very spooky vibe in the evening. So definitely try to check that out in the evening as well. Okay, so as I said, there's 2 rides in this area. There's the Frankenstein Experiment, that's right in front of us. Victoria Frankenstein's Castle. It's called Monsters Unchained. It's a very cool ride. So that is open for early park admission. And this is a very high capacity ride, meaning that even during the regular day, this ride line doesn't get very long. Like right now it's 11:35 in the morning and it's only a 35-minute wait. I think this ride tends to stay at a little bit lower wait time throughout the day. Oh, look at Igor. Just walking around. You never know who you're going to run into here in Darkmoor. So this is a ride you could ride any time of the day. And it's indoors and air conditioned. The queue is amazing. So this is a good one to get a break from the heat. And over here is the Curse of the Werewolf coaster. Here it comes, spinning around. It's going to go back the other way right now, but it's going to come around here in a second. This is a spinning coaster. It does go forward and backward. It does spin around. It kind of depends how much weight is in your vehicle, how much it spins. So if you're really not good with spinning, maybe don't do this ride. But it is kind of short, and so if you can handle some spinning, it is fun, and it's not terribly intense. Here it comes. And I believe this line right now is pretty doable too. I think it's like 30 or 40 minutes right now. So again, I think you could do both of these in early park admission time and head out to that Stardust coaster, and then, you know, head off to do something different and have already two to four rides done by the time the park officially opens to the public. All right, so let's talk about you don't have early park admission. You're just staying at maybe another hotel off property of Universal here in Orlando, or you're a local and you're coming here for the day. Well, then what are you gonna do? Because early park admission means Nintendo Land is now full and Darkmoor might be full. So what happens when you come at regular time? Well, what I have noticed is that Darkmoor is still very doable for regular time, and so is the Isle of Berk over here, How to Train Your Dragon area. If you get here right when the park opens. So if you're kind of lined up, if the park opens at 10 and you're lined up by 9:30 ready to get in, you're definitely going to be able to run into Isle of Berk and start getting stuff done over there. Or if your interest is in Darkmoor, you could come down here, or the Stardust coaster, go there. I would not advise going to Mario first thing in the morning, the Super Mario World, the Super Nintendo World, unless you have a power-up band and maybe you just want to play games and walk around. The rides will be long waits, as I showed you already. So I went in this morning and played some games with my power-up band, and then after maybe being in the park an hour, I came down into Darkmoor, and the lines were still doable. So it kind of just depends what you're interested in and what you want to get done. But let's talk right now about Ministry of Magic over here, the Harry Potter area. They have one of the most popular rides here, the Battle at the Ministry, Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. And should you come running here first thing? And I've debated it, because I've thought to myself, well, if I get there right away for when the park opens, maybe I should just run down to that because it's not part of early park admission. However, what I've noticed is that the line is already 210 minutes when they open. And I think some people with early park admission are coming in here and just queuing up for the Battle of the Ministry. And what I also noticed is that if it's up and running right away, sometimes it'll break down in the morning. And so your line can be longer than what the wait times say. I have found more luck again with this later in the day. Especially evening, this thing can drop down under 100 minutes. Now, keep in mind, the last 2 hours of the night, it will kind of fill the capacity and they'll close the line because they don't want to take on more people than they can handle before the park closes. But I'm talking like maybe 4, 5, 6 o'clock would be a good time to get in line. And keep in mind the weather here in Orlando. It rains every afternoon in the summer. This is an all-indoor queue at the Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry. So you kind of want to be in line before the rain starts and everything else that's outdoors shuts down. Most of the rides here at Epic are outdoor rides and they will shut down. So if you kind of just see the sky is clouding over, you know, and you're keeping track of the radar on your phone and it looks like the weather's getting close, that would be the time I would say jump into line before the rest of the crowd gets in line. And hopefully you should have a good time of getting in line where the ride's line is manageable at maybe, you know, 90 minutes or less, fingers crossed. That would be my tip for Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry. And we're going into the Ministry of Magic area, so I'll show you around this area a little bit. And here we are, Paris 1920s. This area is taken after the Fantastic Beasts franchise. And so that's why we're in Paris. But this area is amazing. It's really big. If you're into wands and casting spells, you could spend time doing that. You could come in the morning just to do that and ignore the ride and wait for it to drop down. They also have a show that's right in front of us, the Cirque Arcanus. That could be something to do in the morning when the crowds are really heavy at some of the other rides, and see the show in the morning. But yeah, there's lots of options of how to plan your day. And again, it's going to depend on your family and your interests. Again, if you're coming here for Nintendo World and you're staying at a resort, go to Nintendo first. Just get here before the early park admission even starts. But if you're not interested in Nintendo and you want to come a little later, you know, you're one of these, I'm going to get there when the park opens and maybe a half an hour after the park opens. We don't typically get up and rush in the morning. Then you're going to want to look for things that have a lower wait and have a little more leisurely morning to get going into the park. And then as the lines drop down in the afternoon and evening, it'll be much more manageable to ride other rides. Well, everyone, I hope this gives you some good ideas of how to plan your day here at Epic Universe. And hopefully you have a great time on your trip. Again, it's just really what you make of it and what you're interested in. But have a plan going in, and have a plan B and a plan C. Due to the fact the park is new, rides are a little finicky still at this point, and things like that. If you liked today's video, hit like and subscribe down below to see more, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new video, which is usually once a week. And also subscribe on social media like Facebook and Instagram, CFL Park Hopper on both. Thanks for watching.